Hey y'all, so Dana, your friendly neighborhood wildlife biologist. I got my pen there. In his name outdoors. Hey, he can save me. He can save you. So this is a hog trap on a client's property. I'm doing some nest egg predator trapping on, and this is a really nice trap. It's got about a 30-inch wide door, metal frame. I'm about 6'1", so about 5.5 feet, a little bit more high. Pretty big trap. It's in the sun. I don't like putting them in the sun, and I'll go over that at a time later. But the trap has been here a little while. You can see all the grass growing up in it. There's a lot of food out right now. That's the reason I don't even pig trap this time of year. There's a lot of spring food, and in Alabama, can't have corn on the ground during turkey season to bait pigs, because that can be considered baiting. So I just kind of bypass, wait till it gets hot and dry. It's a pretty day today. Had a front come in the other day. The biggest thing about this trap, if I could build the perfect trap, it would be a 1/4 acre. It'd be half in the woods, half on outside, where I could plant chufa and corn. It'd have 2 doors. It'd have 2 of those old doors you can drop yourself. It'd be 5 feet wide, one at one end, one at the other end. I'd have cameras facing all directions. I'd have cameras in the woods. I want to make sure the whole sounder is not just walking around. Won't catch them all, right? Here's why I don't do any of that stuff. Here's why I use a lot of times a 4-foot high fence. And sometimes 5, just depends on what I have. Okay, so let's think. Everything I do when I'm trapping is based on statistics. Took biostats 215, made an A in it, took biostats 537, made a B in that one. That was tough. But let's think about this. Yes, I have had pigs jump out of a 4-foot high fence, and some jump out of a 5-foot high fence. I've never trapped a deer in a 4-foot high fence, and only 7 in probably 15 years in a 5-foot high fence. And that's big for my landowners not to trap. So let's look statistically at why I use those 4-foot high 3-panel fences. If you have a group of hogs, and I've had pigs jump out of a 4-foot high fence. I've had it. I've never had one dig out, but it's going to happen. I've had them root up to where Schultz could get out. But every time a pig jumped out, it was usually a larger boar. So statistically, a larger boar that you catch is probably less than, in my area, what I'm dealing with, less than 5% of the population. So if it's less than 5% of the population, now I've caught a lot of huge boars in the 4-foot high fence. I usually only get maybe 1% of the big boars. So the big boars is only 5% of my population. The big ones that are big enough to jump out. Remember, the majority of the pigs you are going to catch are going to be smaller. They don't have the ability, and the way a sow was built, yes, a sow can jump out. Someone's like, I had a sow jump out. Yeah, congratulations, I did too. But it's such a low number. So let's look at the financial implications. So statistically, I'm looking at less than 5% of the pigs I catch are the size boar that can jump out. Of those, less than 2 or 3% of those big boars jump out. I don't care about that. I'll go shoot them. Sometimes you catch them, sometimes you don't. But from a financial perspective, you can build a 4-foot high fence trap for $650. You have a lot better chance of catching a deer in those higher fences, and I don't want to do that. So what is it? The empirical rule is I think it's 65, 95, 99.7 rule, which means you're going to catch 97% within 3 standard deviations of the center. What you have, those boars that jump out, will be considered statistically an anomaly, an outlier. I don't count those in that. That's the reason my traps, I don't mind having a 4-foot high fence, because to build the perfect trap, I just explained, it'd be a 1/4 acre in the woods. You'd have a 6-7 foot high fence buried a foot deep. That's not realistic for most people. If you want to build that, have at it. Just have at it. So my traps in the woods, because I like the shade, because in the summertime, in Alabama, once it gets about 85 degrees. If you don't check it by 10 o'clock, they're dead. And we don't want to do that. So everything I do is based on statistics. Yes, some jump out, but statistically, of all the pigs I catch, less than 0.5% jump out. So I don't care. I just don't. I've only had a few Schultz dig out. 3 panel wide fence, or 3 panels, 3 16-foot, 4-foot high goat panels. I've had just a few jump out. Look, I've gone through, and with research, hundreds of thousands of photos to look at this. So when you build a trap, or when I do it, I'm looking at statistics. I saw a video the other day that they had a boar jump out and they're gonna raise this and do this and cover this and cover that. I don't have time, and I'm not gonna ask my clients to spend more money for one animal, maybe two. I tell them just go shoot it. And we're looking at boars here. Boars don't really even have a home range. They go. We've got radio telemetry, them going 7-8 miles. I've picked up collars from radio collared hogs that have fallen off 5 miles from where we trapped it. So if you want to build that 6-foot high fence, do it. It is your money. You do what you want to. For me, I'm looking at how much you're going to spend versus the return on investment. So we're looking at return off investment, statistical analysis, the empirical law, 3 standard deviations, and statistical outliers. If I consider it a statistical outlier, I put it out of my mind. I don't care. I hope this helps you understand my theories on why I do what I do. I just heard a turkey gobble. Can't get him to gobble again. But think about that. Think about how much you want to spend. 2 traps is always going to catch more than 1 because it's in 2 different locations. All right, I hope this video is a little long. Got into a little bit too much. I got to go run the rest of this trap line. Hope this helps on why I do a lot of what I do and don't care if a pig jumps out. Thank you. Have a good day. All right. In His Name Outdoors, please subscribe, follow. If you'd like to. If you don't, come back every now and then and there'll be another video. All right. Have a good day. Bye.